Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yes, I'm wearing Wookiee of the Year. It's a shirt given to me by my wife, so I thought I'd wear it this morning. So it's a play on. Instead of Rookie of the Year, Wookiee of the Year, I like Star Wars. Yeah, I know. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Well, Bo almost made it through the entire episode without a glitch. Right there at the end, he got one, which is very, very interesting. And I caught like everything but the last 2 minutes. I went and made my second cup of coffee for in the morning. So I make one when I wake up. Yep, yep. I am going to talk about that. And it has since I've been back into the hobby. Uh, I went to get my second cup of coffee. I get one whenever I wake up in the morning. I get up, pray, then start the coffee, clean up a little bit, straighten up a little bit, kind of wake up, and then I come in here and I start reading or listening until Bo goes on, and then at the end of Bo, I go get my second cup of coffee so I can have coffee during coffee talk. It's a little too warm. So Blowout scares me. I've heard that it is a time suck, that you can dive into it and literally not look up and it'd be 4.5 hours later. And I'm that guy. If I find a thread that I like, or if I find something I like, I will deep dive into that bad boy. And that's why it scares me, because of the time suck. And I've tried 3 or 4 times to just skim Blowout, but every single time I do, I can't find what I'm looking for. So it scares me because of the time suck, and I'm afraid of getting into it, and then I'm afraid of the fanboy in there, and I'm afraid of what I will read, and I'm afraid. I'm just afraid. I'm so afraid. I I've never read a blowout. I've been told not to by a couple of people. I've been told to stay away from it, but near as I can tell, there's so much information out there that um, you almost kind of have to if you want to do a deep dive into the hobby. For some reason, I look like I got a dip in my mouth. I don't know why. There's a search function, but it's kind of difficult. Scary boy. Yeah, no, good. What's up, Herman? What's up, Herman? I'm a member. That was a few breaks. I joined a year or two ago. Yeah, I there's just so much information out there. I'm afraid I'm just going to deep dive into it, and there's like 50 bazillion threads. I say bazillion threads, but if you remember, I don't know how old you are, but uh, if you go back to the old AOL days, it's similar to the old AOL threads. And trying to find information on the AOL threads was impossible. I think they just took that platform and moved it over into Blowout, that type of coding, because it looks exactly the same. Um, I've actually got some amazing deals in the buy sell trade auctions, or buy sell trade sections. See, I didn't even know it had a buy sell trade section. So I don't know man, I look like I don't know what's going on with my lip. It's kind of swollen. Look like I got a dip in my mouth. Uh, yeah, I didn't even know it had that. All I know is Blowout is great for their listing of what's coming out, their active of what's coming out. And it just completely baffles me, and it scares me to even look at it or try to dive into it. I'm afraid if I dive into it, I'd spend an 8-hour day diving into a particular subject and come out and not know a single thing. So it also scares me because of, you can get down a rabbit hole of negativity, And then that negativity projects other negativity, which projects other negativity. Herman, stars won. Stars won last night. Stars won. So blowout scares me. I'm afraid to. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. But but is the information more valuable to have to spend on it? That's the part that I'm a little worried about. So I'm a little worried about that. So that's blowout scares me. I spent 2 hours yesterday. It can't be more outdated than Sportlock. That's true, Zach. That's very true. But if you think of Sportlots as a database, and you think of it as a database function, you can get around it if you kind of know databases. So, and the Flyers, nobody cares. Nobody cares about Philadelphia Flyers. Nobody cares, Herman. Nobody cares. So I spent 2 hours on an 83 card variation listing yesterday, between pictures, comp searches, making sure that I got the right comps in, making sure that the pricing was right, making sure that each card had enough profit margin in it. It took, you started it. It took 2 hours to put 83 cards on a variation listing. And it would probably take the same amount to put it on an individual listing. However, if you look at statistics and impressions, which I can now, because I upgraded, I can now look at impressions and statistics. Variation listings may not be worth it, even if you do a promotion. It's worth it from a standpoint of putting a lot of cards on one listing, and you can make it simpler for the buyer. But when you're thinking of the eBay engine as a Google engine in SEO, you lose the traffic. So are variation listings worth it? I don't know. I'm going to watch the statistical traffic, but spending, let's see through. The only thing I know about the Flyers is Eric Lindros. My hockey knowledge is based on EA Sports. Hey, if it's in the game, it's in the game. So variations listings versus individual listings. I'm going to watch this statistically, because if I spent 2 hours and I could have been doing listings on individual and helping the statistics, yet you spend 2 hours on variation listings, I'm a little take picture of the lot, individual, not individual cards, copy and paste checklist instead of typing out. So you would take a picture of the entire 83 cards as opposed to just individual cards, and then copy paste a checklist instead of typing out. Huh. But you're talking about a bulk. I think you're talking about a bulk, though, Bo, not a. We may have to have a conversation offline on that. About the stats. Only include commons, lesser named stars, and variation listings. Hot players should be listed separately. Well, that's what I'm using the tags for. I'm using the meta tags on the variation listings to pull in other names. So that might be one of those that you and I might have to talk offline because of the trains of thought. I don't know. We'll but for right now, I'm going to watch the traffic over the next couple of days to see which one works better, for lack of a better phrase. And now that I've upped my subscription, I can see more of the clicks and impressions and click-throughs. So, and that helps for SEO, and that helps for understanding listings and impressions and traffic and sales. So there's blowout, there's variations. So, Optic Football, it's not due out until next week, but I'm already seeing sales listings on Twitter. So, this is the second time this happened in as many weeks. Are MJ Holdings and the likes of the guy, are they not paying attention to the release dates? And if it's in the box, they're just putting it out? Yeah, Zach, I've seen both. Yeah, but it's not supposed to be out until Tuesday. So there's, I guess they're just really not paying. If it's in the box, they're going to put it out, which technically they shouldn't do that, and that should hurt their contract. But who really cares? But it's just odd that you would see. Maybe it's just one of those things that Offbeat All Stars on Twitter puts in. Yeah. So retail doesn't technically have a street date. Interesting. Okay, well then, so I'm not going to worry about. That just it tripped me up. That's all. That's no big deal. It's no big deal. So I did find. I wanted to show these two really cool cards. Yep, he's up here in Madison. Check that out. It is a 2012. I'm trying to get it into. It is a 2012. I'm just happy I found. Yep. So that's a 2012 Jeter Gold Medallion card. So, and I can't get out into the wild, so I will probably be out on Optic Football, which sucks, but oh well. And then I also found Big Poppy Chrome, digging through cards, and I was digging through the boxes that I got from Rich to pull Cubs cards for Bo. So this is when this gets full, Bo, I'm going to send it to you. It's I probably found a couple hundred cards yesterday. That's why I messaged you to see if the league leaders actually fit. So there's 2 more boxes I got to go through today, maybe today, either today or tomorrow, and pull the Cubs cards for you, and then send those out to you. I had another thought, and I completely forgot what it was. I didn't write it down this morning because I thought, oh, I'll remember, no problem whatsoever. Oh yeah. So I'm going to say this on my podcast, but I wanted to say this as well. So yes, Restless Breakers. I'm working on this story for my podcast, so I don't know 100% where they're at. But Restless Craft Breakers, and I sent you a link, Herman. They're breaking 24 cases of Top Series 1 in 24 hours on YouTube. So for a 24-hour period, they're breaking 24 cases of Top Series 1. And they're doing trivia contests, prize giveaways, and all sorts of other stuff. So can you imagine that credit card bill? That was number one. And then number two, they're selling full case teams on eBay. So you could buy into, say, the Chicago Cubs break of a full case on eBay, and then they will break it for you. So I jumped in on a team, and we'll see if we'll see if I get in. But I thought it would, if George and Daniel, I mean, anybody who hasn't seen or doesn't buy retail or can't get a hold of Top Series 1, there's a way for you to see 24-hour period and participate in a case break. And right now the prices are pretty cheap. I don't know what it's going to end up being, and they've done it for individual teams for individual cases. So there's a lot of opportunity to jump in on the break and just have some fun and get maybe, a ton of cards. But I thought that was an interesting. Uh, it was on a press release from Sports Card Daily Digest, I think, is where I found it. It came in on my Google alerts, which if you're not having Google alerts come in and you're not afraid of a blowout form, then, or if you're afraid of blowout form like me, that's how I'm pulling up most of my knowledge of current product is from Google alerts. So that's what I got. It's not a lot today. There wasn't a lot of business news because I spent yesterday working on the podcast. So I edited the podcast. That was half a day. And then variation listings got me for 2 hours yesterday as well. So that's what's been going on. Today is a little more. I'm going to do a little bit more on the. I've got 3 snippets to write for the podcast, and then the rest of the day is going to be putting up cards. So, and on the COVID note, I'm feeling much, much better. Yesterday, I felt more like myself, and today I feel a little bit more like myself. So I'm getting better and better. Hopefully by this weekend, I'll be 90%. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of diving in and never coming out, or I'm afraid of it looking like a not a smart guy by not figuring it out. That's what I'm afraid of. So that's what I got for the day. Today is going to be listing cards and finish writing the podcast. I'm not posting the podcast until Thursday. So Thursday morning, I'm going to write it. I'm going to record my portion of it, and then probably by noon, I'll release it because I want to make up for what I didn't do yesterday as listing cards. But that's what I got. It's 3 minutes over. I appreciate everybody watching, listening, learning, listening to me ramble about a couple of topics that I have. Hopefully, I'll have some more meat for tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody watching, listening, like, share. I appreciate everybody's support so much. It's just awesome. Thank you so much. Support your local LCS. Have a great day, and God bless.